Hey YouTube, hey Instagram, and welcome to my channel. Please remember to subscribe if you come across this video. I'm actually live on TikTok right now, so you might see me saying hello to people on TikTok as they come because I hold the space for survivors. No one might come though. I might be here on my own, and that's also all right. No, some people have started to come. Queen Lucia in the car, as you know, I spent 18 years in a mega church cult, and I came to the realization during the pandemic that I was in fact in a cult and not in a church, and now I come online and expose them. I'm going to share the link real quick so you will hear a silent pause for less than 60 seconds. Be patient. La patience. Right, I tried to do it as quick as I possibly could. Thanks for liking the live, Lucia. If you are on here, please do like the live. So guys, there's just been a lot going on. It's just been a mess. And basically I was supposed to go carnival, but I didn't get to go carnival because I'm disabled as a result of the cult. And so I've been unwell. Anyway, long story short, I came across a video of this guy down here, yeah, with a girl doing up street evangelism. So when I've pre'd it now, I'm like, what the hell is going on here? I'm going to show a few pictures, a few stills. So bear with me, guys, because I will need to be getting up different pictures because I have quite a lot of receipts. And YouTube and Instagram, please do bear with me. All right, let me go back to where it is because I've got different pictures for different reasons, babe. All right. So these are some of the stills when he was apparently evangelizing to her, yeah, doing up street preaching in carnival. Now, this type of outreach that they're doing up during carnival, I just don't think it's the right setting because people are inebriated. It's like because I'm a social worker and I've worked in the helping profession for years and years. And basically, let me get the right picture, y'all. Let me get the right picture, y'all. Because this man was all over this broad, like he just weren't stopping. He was all over her. Where's all the pictures I took, Chair? Where they all gone, y'all? No, it's not this one. I have to get the right picture up, Chair. Anyway, as social workers, we're trained to basically, yeah, these are the ones I'm looking for. What is he doing, y'all? He was groping her, yeah. I'm going to do a follow-up video with all of the theoretical stuff here, but yeah, it's absolutely shocking to watch. I'm not going to lie. Anyway, as I was saying, as social workers, yeah, if a client presents to me and they're inebriated, drunk, whatever, a young person, if you work in that world, you can't do a session with them because they haven't got the capacity to be able to make decisions, etc., because they're under the influence. So when they're going out there and they've got women under the influence dressed like this, because I'm not going to lie, she's an absolute queen. She looks so good. I was like, yes, queen. Do you know what I mean? This girl did not come to play. She had her little fan. She looked good. She looked goody. She looked very good. Exactly. Even police won't interview under the influence. No one in any type of setting where someone has to make a conscious decision, because remember, the born again prayer, you have to know what you're doing. You've got to consent. You've got to believe in your heart and your mind. You're intoxicated. Thanks for the follow. Vonnet. It's giving French. It's giving Paris. It's giving expensive. All right. So while he's out, and this guy clearly has, issues with, he's got sin around his eyes and looking upon the gal them. So he's the last person that should be out. If you know that you've got, you've got like a schmegschal addict past, or, you're just that way inclined, why would you go out to a setting where you're going to be seeing gal like this every second? He said she needed to go Primark to dress, but look what he's wearing. Yeah, the cheek. Do you know what I found really interesting? I need to do a follow-up video because he wasn't actually saying it to her. He was saying it to another girl who was more covered than her, but he weren't hurling ABUSC at her and telling her that he needed to go to Primark. Instead of him feeling her up and doing the most that was very inappropriate. He should have taken her to Primark because shops are still open on Bank Holiday Monday. Check that. Do you know what I'm saying? Instead of standing up there doing the most, chair. OMG, Leah, are they evangelizing? They've all been out there. All the 304s that want to be seen will be out doing up evangelizing. Do you know what I mean? It's like, babe, why are you there? Listen, I grew up in the carnival. I'm from Grove, as you know. That's my end. When my cult was in the area and we couldn't even have our service, I was living in the area and not going to carnival. Are you all right? So anyway, guys, I just want to go through this. I'm going to give a few stills to show you lot how bad this was. Then I'm going to move on to some of the bait. Lord have mercy. Yes, girl. I'm going to look at some of the other preachers. I can't remember all of their names. Jesse, Ollie, there's a next one. But is it Brother Christie or something? I'm going to show you a few stills so we can just look at these pictures and say, like, is this bringing glory to God? Is this glorifying the faith? You know, is this bringing glory to the name of Jesus Christ? You know, I don't think that this is glorifying God. You know, this man was just all over this woman. It was so inappropriate. I mean, look at this. Like, it was just giving first and thus. Do you know what I mean? All he wanted to do was touch that woman. I've never seen a street preacher. Look how close he is to her chest area. It was like he was putting her hand out to like touch her. And the thing is, I'm so glad that I've got this footage because a lot of survivors have come forward and said when the Mog was like laying hands on me, it was inappropriate. When he was talking to me, it was inappropriate. Like the elongated handshake, and he was doing that with her a lot. Like that's like a custom, like in those parts of the world where this man's from, and it shows that they're interested, like they like you. And I didn't even know that. And bare pastors used to do that to me because I was, look at Ange saying, yeah, Queen Ange in the car. I was like a novice. I hadn't been around like proper traditional people from back home. I didn't know a thing. I was like a sheep going to the you-know-what. I was a sheep amongst a pack of wolves and I didn't even know it. Jesus used to sit down with sinners at dinner tables. These people would never do that. No, they just want to eat the dinner. You know them ones, eat it all up. So let me show you a few more stills from this absolute train wreck. And then we've got a few stills that I want to show you from a bit more aggressive. Look how close his hand was, yeah. Look at this, yeah. It's just like, what is going on? I just couldn't look. She had to push his hand away at a point, guys, because he was just doing too much. Look at this. As inebriated as she was, she could still tell that what was going on. And then look, some other gal them kept, guys, look. Oh my gosh, it was so bad. Even the way that he's communicating with her, touching the hand, all of that. As inebriated as she was and is, he shouldn't have been doing that. He wanted to touch her. Yeah, he's in love with her. Yeah. Oh, sister, please. Oh, sister. You know, all of the stuff that they do with their pred behavior. All right. This is another one. I need to stop touching the mic. This is an absolute classic. We know that this went down a couple of months back when Jesse, because Jesse thought he was invincible. Yeah, he was out in these Croydon streets. You know, they love a West Croydon street. Why do they love being in the ghetto? Because the police response is going to be instant. They're hyper local areas. They're gang infiltrated. They're deprived like hoods, this, that, and the third. So the police are going to be there in a second. That's why they do it. They know that they're going to get their target audience. This type of behavior is, again, not glorifying Jesus Christ. And it's not saving anyone. It's like I knew when I was coming on TikTok, I was in and blinding, shouting, doing the most. The lives are getting luck off. Do you know what I'm saying? And then I'm not achieving anything. No one's hearing what I've got to say. So it's defeating the whole purpose of me getting on here. And what's the point in coming and wasting my time? It makes no sense. I learned that really quickly. I don't go to those spaces every Sunday, but these people are claiming to represent the faith to the point where they are outside representing Christ, the face of the religion, and they're doing up this. It's wrong. And this is not about me being an enemy of the church. It's not about me this. It's not about me that. It's about us standing united and saying that this is wrong because abuse is abuse. I'm talking about aggressive street preachers tonight, my love. I mean, just look at some of these stills, guys. I mean, it's absolutely horrific. Let me bring the phone a bit closer so I can do this properly. It's absolutely horrific. And then I'm going to take you I mean, it's just shocking, isn't it? Look at this, guys. This type of conflict, the us versus them, they have very black and white thinking. They think they're the ultimate authority. So when they come like head to head, par to par with authority, it's like they won't back down because they think everyone and anyone is the devil. Do you get it? So even though they've got the authority to literally arrest them on the spot, and they're saying what you're doing is this is a public disturbance, you're creating, conflict, chaos, whatever. They believe that they still need to preach the gospel. All right, this is religious psychosis, guys. This is not like being sold out for Christ or doing anything. Then there's this other one. There's always these weird guys that go with them, but I'm going to talk about that later because I've got the psychology behind it. But just clock it, you get me? This is oh guys, look, it's just like, what is going on, chair? I'm going to get to your comments after, guys, because I can't see on TikTok. But I mean, this was just a MESS, chair. I just don't know if this guy's going to ever live it down because it was so aggressive. It was so uncalled for. He just had to pack up and go. And he didn't want to pack up and go, chair. All right, then I'm getting on to this guy. I can't remember. Is it Christy? Mystically Miora. Let me go to some of the comments. I agree. The worst ones are the ones hiding behind Jesus to do the most. Yeah. It's all covered in hyper religiosity. It's just an opportunity for them to be aggressive. And I'm going to go into the psychology. So they want to act like they're oppressed instead. Yeah. They love to play the victim as well. I'm just trying to preach the gospel. You've just been so aggressive, Chair. Like, what is this, babe? Do you know what I mean? They just think they're invincible, all up in the popo's face, pointing, doing the most, Chair. Like, is it effective? Like, is this type of street, effective? Oh, these pictures are just so bad. They're just so bad. I've got a few more that I want to show as well. This was another very aggressive one where the police had to come and intercede. Again, this is another culprit, Ollie. I just don't think that this is glorifying God. As if God will have people on, what do you mean, begging floors? Yeah, look, it's a lot, man. It's a lot. And the thing is, I have friends that are preachers. Do you get it? And when they go out, they actually do engage people. Do you get it? They're not out here. Where's the one with the guy that looked like he was backing it out, chair? Yeah, you lot pre this one. This was the one I said, nah. Like people, oh, Lynette. Yeah, there's definitely a way to do it. Listen, I'm not against preaching the gospel. I'm not against being outside, but you're a risk to yourself and others. When, as a social worker, when we're making mental health assessments, we are assessing you to see if you're a risk to yourself and others. The only reason why this isn't a thing is because we already have a mental health crisis. We already don't have the staff and the capacity to deal with the current crisis. So these people, it just gets camouflaged because it's in the hood, deprived neighborhood. It's like, deal with it yourself. But the reality is, guys, this is getting really bad. And it is going to take something really bad for people to say, okay, we need to do something about it. I'm from Wales. We got different lingo. Woo, chair. Oh, backing it out means, do you understand shank? Oh, I don't know if they know it though. Yeah, so they react. You got to try and kind of read in between the lines. I'm so sorry, girl. But message me after because I'm happy to send you a little glossary of slang because you know what? I don't want you to feel excluded. Because I do need to use a lot of slang, girl, because that's the only way I survive out here, baby. All right, so let's get into it. I think those are the main ones. Oh yeah, guys, this was a blood clot mess as well. This guy's claiming to heal a guy that was walking again. Look, so he's holding up the thing. It's just like, how do we validate these miracles and healings and whatever, chair? This was another one. Look, oh, this is just one of they're just so radical. So the same birds of a feather flock together. Do you get it? They've got these little crews that they formed, yeah. And he was with steps as well. I don't even know where that picture is. I'll pull it up later. Look, this guy was getting vexed, yeah. Look, woo! This one was ready to throw some hands, yeah. And this auntie was like, leave it, to Jesse, because he kept going on, like rowling up the guy, yeah. Look, it's just all conflict and it's rage bait. They use all of this as rage bait. They go out and they target people and areas where they know they're going to get a reaction. Now, this is absolutely crazy. literally, Jesse got this guy to take off his cast. Now, I saw a medical health professional like reposting this and saying, why is he getting him to take off the cast? This could be really detrimental to his healing process, because, you know, if you do that up, you can end up damaging your foot bottom for life when it just needs to be pun cast for a little piece. For my Welsh fam, what that translates into is that this could have caused serious long-term injury, where it affected his foot or ankle area, and he would have just needed maybe 6 months to heal in whatever it is that he's got up there, that little Velcro cast. But he's taking it off in the name of doing up healing. Okay, so it's going to affect his foot bottom. Yeah, the foot bottom is the foot. Like, these ones are the worst, fake healing. Yeah. White Heart, you saw it, innit? It's just crazy. Have you seen the guy that said he hasn't eaten in 9 years? Oh, Lynette, don't take me out. Send it to me, girl. Do you know what, guys? There's just so much content. I just don't know what to do with myself, chat. But I think the parents are irresponsible. So glad that that thing ain't on my FYP anymore. I'm so happy for you too. I don't know how I got on this side of TikTok. Thanks, my love. But I'm here. All right, then. So let's get into it, guys. I wanted to give a little bit of a feeler of what tonight was going to look like, because it's just the same old culprits. And, they can do whatever they want because, it's their life. I mean, guys, just look. It's crazy, yeah. All right, let me get up my green screen that I've got for the night. Guys, I look like a MESS chair, so I've got to make sure. All right, I've done some work with ChatGPT. Did you speak on that husband? I did. The one that said that his wife's breath stunk at Waterloo Station. Yeah, girl. It's an absolute MESS. That's why when people are like, oh, you're divorced, they're like, yeah, I'm divorced and proud, chair. At least I don't have no man embarrassing me outside in these streets, chair. Do you know what I mean? All right, let's kick off, guys. So why are some street preachers so aggressive? Why are these street guys so aggressive? Let's get into it. And some of them are very pred in nature, like what you can see here. So the first area for us to look at, Salade in the cut, is the militant evangelical theory. So many see themselves as soldiers for Christ. We've got the Ephesians 6 imagery with the armor of God, a lot around spiritual warfare there. And remember, with these hyper-religious, exasperated environments, there's a lot around HELL, the devil, warfare, your enemies. It's very, so a lot of paranoia seep through. So a lot of them are in religious psychosis, all right? They frame preaching as a battle with Satan. So shouting, it's like they think they're doing up like some sort of spiritual warfare when they're out there. And then they're like everybody else within, Dom, just kind of enable the behavior. Because the only supporters they've got is the rest of them. Yeah, it's not reaching anyone. All right. And then we've got intimidation and calling out sin. So they feel righteous. It fills a void. It fills an insecurity. Okay. And also for the narcissist, you have to remember this is ego candy. Yeah, they're a clique because the same birds of a feather flock together. And the mega world is very small. Do you know what I mean? So like all of these upcoming street, they'll all know each other. They all move together. They're like, it's babe, it's a cult. You get me? These mandem, they use it like a DRUG, like it's codependency for them, chair. Performance and ego boost. So aggressive preaching is often less about converting people and more about performing dominance. Shouting at crowds make them feel powerless. Shouting at crowds make them feel powerful, especially if they're powerless in their everyday life. Remember, I told you that a lot of these mandem, especially the ones that had his hands all over that girl, are usually not very successful in everyday life. They don't usually have a lot of education. They don't really have much going for them. So this is where they get, they feel powerful. They get that, it feeds that hyper masculinity. And also they just have a lot of trauma, pent up aggression. And they get, it's like a boxer, when they get to like release, or like the gym, or it's like a release for them. Okay. Because whatever they used to do, whether it was putting hands on their gal, doing up road, you know what, doing up the roads. Because I realized you can't use GANG, on TikTok. That's why it was getting locked off. All right, they were inside, locked up, whatever it was. Psychologically, it can mask insecurity. The louder they are, the more they're covering up doubt. Fear-based conversion tactics. By being aggressive, they try to provoke guilt, fear, or shame, believing that the fear of HELL will scare people into faith, because that's all they've got. No one listens to them outside of this world. No one listens to them inside of this world. So they are just angry, dusty men in survival mode, screaming because they're not making any money. So this is their way of validation, of feeling hyper masculine. All right. And we can tell by the way they're clothed, and that's on period, point blank. Robert Lifton's, and you don't need to worry about me, babe, because I'm ill. Do you know, I'm ill, 38 years old with 2 children. My eldest is 11 years old, and this is pajamas share. All right, I don't walk pun street and road like this, but I still look better than certain gal that are dressed up to walk pun roadside and street with foot bottom. All right, so I'm absolutely fine. Okay. Us versus them thinking. That mindset, black and white, very dogmatic. Outsiders, what is going on? Outsiders are seen as the world, enemies of God. Aggression then feels justified. So remember the us versus them, the demonization of the world. So to them, aggression, it's like the street preaching style that they're doing. It gives them a green card to ABUSE people because they're all sinners and going to HELL, and they need to feel the wrath of God and the judgment of, it's all of that. They're very hyper religious. The ones that you see doing up this are the ones with the most trauma, the most unresolved trauma. They have uncomplicated grief. They're actually unwell. They're a risk to themselves and others. Do you know, like gone, like, do you get what I'm saying? Because they were before. They were RADICAL before. These type of mandem give the mandem that were in and out of pen. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's locked up. Those type of mandem that have passed on the streets. Just mandem that put their hands on women. That's what it's giving. That's what it's giving, chair. All right. Yanya Lalage, when you look at so the aggression then feels justified because they're rebuking demons around them. So really it's just ABUSE, but they cover it and cloak it with, they need deliverance. You're going to HELL because you're mocking God. But they're not mocking God, they're mocking you because you look like an idiot. Because they're telling you, just move, because no one's listening to you. Now all of a sudden that's the DEVIL and they're going to HELL. But if that same person was agreeing with you and begging it and saying, I want to be, you know what, again, you would be fine, my love. So it's all feelings, emotions. They've got such big egos. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like the slightest thing, they just go off. And then pair that with the narcissism, the misogyny, the patriarchy, the lack of education. Yeah. Don't forget that. Because for lack of knowledge, my people perish. Okay. So these people all play a part in embarrassing us. Okay. So Yanya Lalage says that bounded reality within their worldview is that hostility is love. So you know that saying, there's no love like what HATE, yeah? Hostility is love because it's saving souls from HELL. Shouting and hurling ABUSE. There's no one that is from like the normal street that engage with these people. It's always people that are already in the faith and the religion. Oh, it's so good what you're doing. You're just cheering each other on. It's just a bag of recycled, outside in these streets, praising each other. They keep polishing themselves. That's what they used to say in my cult. You're just recycled Christians coming every time. And you're just polishing yourself. You just keep polishing yourself. You're shiny. Look how much of the word has been preached into you. So they just want, it's never enough. Basically, they were saying we've got all this anointing, we know all this stuff, so we're like shiny golden vessels. Unfortunately, you can't just come on the live like that, my love. You're going to have to say what it is that you want to say. And also, are you of the age to speak? Because a lot of them are just little children running around in these TikTok streets. They ain't got no passport, no online passport. So I've got to be the popo and check, because I'm trying to stay within community guidelines. All right, my love. So just put there your age and what it is that you want to say. Not everyone has access to my energy. The touchy-feely behavior. That's why you don't have access to the cult leader, your pastor or your mog or wog. Who's that? That's why you don't have, that's why you don't have access to them, my love. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because they're preserving their energy but siphoning all of yours. That's why it's okay for you to be, for them to be on the stage, like preaching, doing up whatever, they're siphoning your energy. Then afterwards, it's like they go away and they don't owe you an explanation because they're the anointed mog or wog. All right. The touchy feely behavior. I want to talk about that with the drunk woman. All right. Let's get into it. I'm going to put the other picture up. I really am not trying to show myself, chair, because I just look a hot mess tonight. I have to try and have a little bit of dignity, chair. Oh, you know, these are the wrong guys. Just bear with me. I have to get the right picture because this is why I went on TikTok today, because I said I'm gonna, yeah. This is absolutely shocking to see, guys. Thank you for all your gifts. I appreciate you. Do you know what the funny thing is? And Lucia knows this because Lucia is someone that I was supposed to be going carny with, yeah. We went somewhere the other day, yeah, and then a group of us as survivors were all gonna go carny together. Now, guys, I'm regularly ill, yeah, and we weren't gonna go to be going up and down because we've all got our different needs. But we were just gonna go get a little food, have a little rum punch, you know, just like chill on, because it's my ends, isn't it? So we were gonna go to where my mum is. Anyway, long story short, guys, all of a sudden I get unwell. Thanks, Lynn's braids, all of a sudden from nowhere. I've been in my yard, I get unwell, yeah, can't move from the bed. Then remember I said I would have missed the RPF video and then I would have missed this because I would have been out having a good time. I needed to see this. And it's like, I don't even want to get emotional, but it's like God just brings it on my FYP. And it's always when I'm feeling like, is this the right thing that I'm doing? Like, you know, should I just focus on maybe like my herbal stuff and maybe getting into more holistic, you know, like that route and just be a little bit more. And then God always gives me something and it's like, no. Don't worry, guys. I just get days like this. And I really do appreciate you for your gift. I know it's really hard at the moment for everyone, chair. That's why I don't ask for anything. All right. So let's explore the touchy-feely behavior with the drunk woman, okay? Remember, this man is claiming that he's a prophet of God. He's a street preacher, this, that, and the third. So this is another layer. Disturbing, but very real. So this is exploitation of vulnerability. So we've got an inebriated woman, because we don't know if she was under the influence of something else as well, because she was really out of it whilst drinking Magnum. And we all know Magnum is strong, chair. And it gets you a bit, you know, sensual. So that's why I think that she was even acting that way towards him. And he was very much complying and, what's the word? Giving into the advances. She weren't even given no advances, but she's naturally like that. So he was the one giving all the advances, putting all the advances on her when she's not even, like, she's so inebriated that we could argue that she doesn't have a mental capacity to make a decision. So basically, long story short, this is a street preacher at Carney, and he's out and the girl is just inebriated all over the place, like swaying and everything. And my man is just so touchy-feely, like just literally just touching her up. You can go and watch this video on my main account, Leah Lauder 7, or on my Instagram, on my YouTube, Leah Lauder 777. It's the most recent video that I've posted. So we're talking about pred behavior of street preachers, and just looking at the dynamic that you know, this is too touchy-feely for someone who's supposed to be evangelizing. All right. So a drunk woman has impaired boundaries and less ability to resist. So, you know, that's where we get into like consent, blurred lines, etc. Some preachers exploit this under the guise of ministering or praying for her, laying hands on her, anointing her, baptizing her. It blurs spiritual authority with exploitation. All right. And this is really sad because this goes on in the church a lot, inside of the church after service. They'll be doing this up, the same sort of mannerisms and pred behavior. And this is the pred behavior that a lot of us have been explaining, but we didn't have a video to show it. So this video really does, you know, exemplify it really well. Let me see if I can get a few more pictures like to show it. Look, I mean, are the pictures demonstrating Wagwan? Let me know. Spiritualized grooming, like when you groom dogs. Touch is framed as laying on of hands or anointing. And the baptism one, there's been a lot of awful cases of ABUSE and SA with that. because even they some of them do baptisms at home, and even if a girl's wearing a t-shirt or whatever, the water gets wet and you can see her whole shape. It doesn't matter what she's wearing, all right? That would be a thrill for a pred. What, after church in the office? No, like in the because it was a cathedral, it's all open. So the pastor would come and be holding the hand and looking at you and licking lips and up and down and all of that. They do it out in the public, like when they're speaking to girls, because there's loads of people around, but you're kind of isolated in your little groups or your pairs or whatever within the cathedral because it's big. And everyone just goes, and we call it flow. We call it flowing. We used to do that back in the day. They still do it now, but back in the day, we didn't have the internet like it is now. So in many hyper-religious contexts, physical touch is normalized during prayer, making it easy to mask inappropriate behavior. And also the access that these mogs get to women. Oh, I'm just going to come over for a prayer. I want to pray for you, your marriage. You told me that your marriage is struggling. I was doing some visitation in the area and I thought I would pass by. Then the woman, he's eating out of the grape bowl. What woman is going to say, oh no, prophet, you can't come? Like, come on. Misogyny and blame shifting. Women are often treated as responsible for men's lust, purity, culture. So like all of the indoctrinated women are going to justify this type of inappropriate harassment. What else can we call it? It is what it is, guys. You know what it is. They will condone it. Oh, why is she out like that? But why is he there? Why is he there? Because she's out in Carney. She's out at Carney. She's there to look palm man. That's what she's doing, and she's not ashamed of it. All right. Well, she's there to have a good time, but she looks so good, Chair. She's a queen. So she's out to look good, have a good time. Like, you lot are supposed to be where you are. Why are you coming? And this is what I think is wrong. Because you're coming into these environments and you're telling people they're going to go to HEOL and ABUSC, and you don't know what it takes people to just get out of the house. Some people are there for cultural reasons. Some people are there because it's like 10 generations of their family. And now they're experiencing that with their child for the first time. They just don't have a widened lens. It's very black and white, dogmatic thinking. Guys, I'm going to finish this segment and then I'm going to get into digging a bit deeper behind the theory, adrenaline and addiction, risk-seeking, unresolved trauma, projection, more of those buzzwords, digging a little bit deeper. And I think this will help you if you've had MOGs or WOGs or leaders that have been very RADICAL. I think that this understanding is going to help to set you free from the trauma bond. I really do believe that, okay? Because I couldn't believe it when I spoke to ChatGPT and it generated this for me. And ChatGPT is very good, but you've got to know how to frame and answer the questions, otherwise you won't get the information. So it's I just find it absolutely life-changing. I think when I go back to education, I mean, the sky's my limit, because I think there's a lot more adaptations for people who are neurodivergent, who have learning needs. And I think as I've come to know self more, and I am waiting for my, ADHD and autism assessment. So I would love to go back to education once knowing what those things are and being able to be supported, because I am itching. I think I want to go back to education soon. All right. So a drunk woman might be seen as easy prey or in need of saving, allowing the man to rationalize boundary crossing as rescuing. That's why it was like he was preaching, but it was so inappropriate because she's inebriated, she's not listening. He's just using that as a cover because he likes her and he wants to be touchy-feely and feel her up and just violate her. That's why he did that, all right? Double standard in behavior. If you've got any questions, guys, start getting your questions ready, please, because I am going to start winding down for this session and then I'm going to be back in about half hour. All right. Double standard in behavior. Preachers may, and another thing is, if they know that they had a weakness before coming to the church cult and they were a so-called player, more like pred, or they know that but when they come into these environments, it's like everyone's the Lulu. The man is put as a prize. And that's why all of the things that he was saying, it was almost like chat up lines, but in like religious, like hyper spirituality, because he was saying things like, I'm a prophet of God. I'm a prophet of God, sister. Listen to me. Trust me. It's like, this is all the stuff they do when they're going to eat from the great bowl. This is all the stuff that they say and do when they're going to essay women. So this man is clearly We can see what it is. And time again, I just get proven right. And there's more things that are happening to support and support what it is that I'm saying. This is all. And I want people to know, they think I've been sitting on TikTok for a year doing nothing. Baby, I'm a social scientist. This is all my research. Are you all right? I've been using a qualitative methodology, my love. Go and look that up. All right. I've been using a qualitative methodology. Do you know what that is? Because you think you've got something to come and teach me and tell me about my life. You might want to go and look up what qualitative methodology is, what type of research that is, what type of approach it is. All right, my love. Okay. Prophets. That's what all of my videos are. All that is research. I am contributing to the area of under researched topics around church cults. That's what I'm doing up. Prophets in Bible. The prophets in the Bible usually unalived. Why anyone wants to call themselves that, I don't know. Because they don't understand, babe, the judgment, the pressure, the calling, the sacrifice, all of the stuff that is attacked. They don't have any clue what that's about. They don't have any clue, my love. Like, look at Jeremiah, the weeping prophet. Like, it doesn't seem like, according to the biblical, and when we look at the Apocrypha and even the hidden text, the people that the disciples, and you know that we know that Mary Magdalene was the apostle to the apostles. So just the people them that didn't share the same view as the Pharisees, the ones that weren't EVIL. I always say to you, and this is where I'm going to start rounding it up. If my ex-cult leader, David Antry, all of these corrupt monks were to do, like, write an account of what was going on, and this became a holy book or whatever, and then my words got rejected because it was seen as EVIL or whatever, or they couldn't authenticate it. But then the mogs and whatever, they, compiled this book and put it all together. That would be a very biased, one-sided lens. That's why in 2025, we do need to factor in the factual evidence that we have that shows that the Bible cannot be infallible. And also we need to contextualize it. So, for example, the reason why we don't have books that are written by females is because, there was a lot of misogyny and patriarchy. Women were seen as lower than cattle. They didn't have rights. They couldn't read or write, etc. They wanted to silence the voices of women. They didn't think that they had a right. And that's why, Jesus Christ came to emancipate and free the women. That's why he chose Mary Magdalene to be an apostle to the apostle and to say that he has risen. That's why he had women in the ministry, but they tried to cover it up. But thank God for, archaeology. Thank God for, science and different areas, where they literally go in and look for, hidden artifacts, etc. Because this is what has helped us, advance in the area of religious studies. Been able to really unpack, inconsistencies and infallibilities within a book that they said was absolutely perfect, divine, and infallible. And it's just not. That doesn't take away the infallibility of Jesus Christ, guys. It really doesn't, because it wasn't Jesus Christ that put that book together. Does Jesus Christ know he's Christian? Does he know that all of these EVIL men are speaking in his name? Or would he say, "You're saying Lord, Lord, but I don't know you, man"? So when they're saying, "Oh, dude, come back to Jesus, this is a bad example of the church." Oh, babe, I know, my love. That's why I fortunately for me, I've held on to Christ. You don't need to tell me that. Go and take that somewhere and a where elsewhere, because it's not needed over her. You know them ones. Because when I was viewing my boyfriend's body, it was Jesus Christ that was there. When I didn't feel like I could do it anymore, it was Christ that was there and a where and a there. So I don't need to be told, my love. That's why I got out, because Christ got my back. Exactly. Even Jonah ran away when God told him to go to Nineveh and tell them to repent. And then the fish them swallow him up, because you can't run from what is predestined. That is activated in the ether. Do you get me? Because God framed you and knew you before you were formed. You get me? That's predestination. No one wants to do it, but these people love it so much. They're so ignorant. Oh, absolutely. The system is a circus, not you, love. Yeah, of course it is. Women at the well. Yeah. Keep moving forward with your knowledge. Thank you, babe. He wasn't born into a corrupt system with knowledge, with no knowledge of his history in the education system. Who's that, my love? Jesus Christ. And again, you know, even what I say, it's not set in stone. Everybody's got their own truth. Everybody's got their own lens into it. This is just what I feel. And I'm about really deconstructing. Actually, what I said was factual, though, about the canon. I ain't backtracking on that chair because the evidence is there. Just like King James and his courtier husband, he was married with about 4 or 6 kids, but he had his lover. They used to call him the king courtier of the house. King courtier's hubby. And there's nothing wrong with it, but don't try and act like you're holier than thou. And let's look at why he did up that translation. It was for political reasons. It was to manage the unrest. I think it was it between the Protestants and the Catholics? So let's not do that, chair. They wanted like a one world order. That's why they tried to do this. It's all rooted from paganism and slavery. All right, we will come back and unpack it a bit more. I need a break. Okay, I'm just so upset I didn't get the donuts, guys. I actually flopped myself because I didn't get the donuts and I didn't get the croissants. But do you know what? I'm going to go and have some of the cherry pie that I got. You lot, let me put you onto this little Asda deal real quick. I bet you lot know about it. The pizzas for £10 and the 2, oh, you said alkaline foods, please. Can you give me alkaline food money, chair? Because these people have messed up my mental health. I'm not working. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, I was working in a good job, you know. Layla, I'm coming back, my love, because I'm going to have to round up. You know, when I see people like that, I feel like staying on extra. No, but I do try and have my fruits and that. I've got my oranges. I'm only joking with you, my love. All right. So, I'm going to repeat the double standard in behavior because I think this is the most important one. And I hope he sees the video and feels shame. Preachers may shout aggressively at men, but become physical, touchy, or compassionate with women. But I find it's the opposite with Jesse. When he was presented with that big 6 foot whatever guy, he knew how to humble himself and shut that gob. But when it's a woman, he's there opening his beak. It's loud and proud. It's doing too much. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's like, it's a lot. Because he knows that he's not going to get... Do you understand? He just takes them... They know who to play with and who not to play with, guys. It's so obvious shit. This shows it's not about holiness. It's about power dynamics and access, all right? And when there's that unequal power dynamic, you see that these street preachers really do go in. All right, I'm going to give you the summary, then I'm going to go, and then I'm going to come back. Give me about 20 minutes to half an hour, because I don't want to long it out too much. All right, I'll come back at 10, but I might be on a bit earlier, guys. I'll see how I feel, but I'll be back by 10. So if you guys come back here for 10 o'clock, if I've had any related tutorials, I'll have to go on another account, but I will post on this account where I'm going to be. Thank you for the follow, Informer. So the psychology behind it. Aggressive street preachers often create power, shouting and dominating the street, which feeds the ego. They lack accountability, usually having no church structure holding them responsible or accountable. They're like the vagabonds of the faith. They do whatever the hell they want, and they were like that before they became, before they converted and they became born again. They just cover it. They just mask it with other things. That's why a pred is still a pred when they come in the cult. Do you understand what I'm saying? But once they clock the system and see they can get access to the gal, then even if they start off well, wanting to, you know, change and whatever, unfortunately there's women in there that are in there for all different reasons, and unfortunately they just haven't healed from, you know, the trauma and the weaknesses and the pred behavior that they have, and then women become at risk. They mask predatory impulses with spirituality, especially when women are vulnerable. Oh, I want to come to your house and do a rehearsal, etc. They want to test the waters. Remember I said to you that a guy in my branch in North K tried to do that with me, but I weren't on it in the slightest share. No matter how big you are, you know, I'm going to fight for my life. I always say if someone tries to take me out, delete me, you'll see that there were signs of me, you know, fighting back always. And you know, you're going to get my DNA, yeah, because them actually I've got on acrylics, so no. But I would just break these. You know how they get when you break that chair. Don't play with me. Exploit authority. Touching framed as God's work. So the laying on of hands, blessing, baptism, whatever. You know, a pred can just be sly. It's like a PDF. They just get like thrills out of just being in environments where they can watch. Do you understand? So even just that skin to skin contact when a girl is wet, like in her clothes, whatever. And then, but really, they're serving their own desires, so their own lusts and sick fetishes, okay, and warped, perverse mindsets. And I'm going to leave it at that. For my YouTube and Instagram listeners, for part 2, come back for it'll be uploaded in a couple of hours. We're going to be looking at why street preachers are aggressive through adrenaline addiction and risk seeking, unresolved trauma and projection, the ex-sinner to soldier identity, rage bait as currency. So the social media rage bait stuff that they do, pseudo martyrdom and narcissistic supply, targeting the vulnerable. That's what we're going to be doing up. Ooh, we're also going to be looking at, I don't know if we'll cover this, but we will be looking at narcissistic supply in disguise and looking at them as the religious vigilantes and rogue rebels of the faith. We're going to be going into religious psychosis and delusion, contradiction to Christ's example, because I want to cover a little bit of literary around the scriptures. I think it's important, and why it brings no salvation. And then we're going to put it all together. So guys, don't miss this, though. You don't want to miss this. If you miss it, 10% of your life has gone. Did they used to say it in your cult, guys? If you miss this, 10% of your life has gone at all. Bag of idiots. I'll be back. Give me half hour. Love you. I'll be back at 10 p.m. on